How's it going, everyone? It's Whiplashthesnake here, bringing you another daily dosage of cringe with another life story video. Because, I woke up and I thought, well, fuck it. I just spent like 7 hours on a video yesterday. Might as well just go and relax with a life story today. And so, that's what we're gonna do. And if you couldn't tell by the title, this is the story of why I no longer go to state fairs. And this is a story from the last state fair that I ever went to. But before we get into that story, I would just like to let you guys all know about a new series I am launching tomorrow called YouTuber Review. It's going to be a satire series with heavy editing, based on a bunch of YouTubers that I'm subscribed to, which, it's a list of like 170 YouTubers, so, we're not gonna run out of episodes anytime soon. And it's basically gonna be a series where I analyze every aspect of a YouTuber based on its content, based on its uploads, based on its, personality, and then basically take pot shots at it. But so I tweeted out a bunch of YouTubers asking who wants to be the first victim, and one actually replied, and that one person was the odd ones out. So I'm gonna be making the video on him tomorrow. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to do this. And also, right before we jump into the story, I would like to just say we just hit 300 subscribers today, and that is amazing to me. I never thought the channel would grow this big. I remember when I had at least like 100 subscribers, and it's been only a month and we've already hit like 300. This is insane, guys. Thank you so much. But that being said, guys, let's get right into the story. So this started when I was about like 6 years old. I went to a bunch of state fairs, with family, and this story takes place in Illinois, where a lot of my family lives. And so we would go out to the state fair there a lot of times because, we would go out there in the summer, they would hold one, and it was just a fun time, go out, eat some food, ride some rides, maybe see some animals if there was a petting zoo, just some normal state fair shit. But there was always some pretty extreme rides there, and I would go on the really fast spinny ride. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's just like a ride that you get on. It's a big lit up room. There's a DJ in the middle. They play you some music, and then they spin you so fast that you stick to the wall. Like, I'm not kidding. It would spin you so fast that you would literally be stuck your back to the wall. So, you could just, lay sideways, not even touching the ground. You'd be stuck to that wall. And me being the smart kid I was, I rode it until I threw up, so I got kicked out of that ride. But so the day continues. We go through some state fair games, ride a few more rides. The safe ones, like a merry-go-round, like a little kiddie roller coaster, those kind of things. Then it came time for the last ride. And this one, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these rides before. It's basically one of those rides where there's 2 cages on either end, and you're supposed to get into this ride, buckle up, close the cage, and then it spins you around really fast. And the cage itself, it spins freely on its own. The only thing that's really spinning is the arm, and so you're just kind of flying around randomly inside the cage. But this ride is a little bit hard to explain, so I'm just going to throw a picture of it up here. And just imagine this ride right here, but smaller, and with only 2 cages on both ends of it. And with only 1/5 as many safety measures. It wasn't the safest ride ever. It was a state fair ride. I don't think the FDA would at all approve this for your daily dosage of living. But me being a kid, just watching this ride go around all day while I was riding other rides, I wanted to get on this shit and try it out. And so, we all get into the line and we're just waiting to go on this ride. It's just me, my sister, my mom, and my grandmother. And so I'm asking them, hey, who's gonna go on the ride with me? Because, up to this point, basically at least someone had gone on each ride with me. And I'm not kidding, guys. They all just kind of looked at the ride and were just like, yeah, no, fuck that. No, I was on my own for this. And so I didn't really care. I thought, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be a really fun ride. So I go up, climb into the cage. There's a little metal seat in there. And I know what you're expecting. There's probably a safety bar in there for you to hold on to, right? Nope. You get basically the equivalent of a car seatbelt. That's all you get, and you're gonna be flying upside down, around in circles. Have fucking fun, mate. Now, this ride was obviously meant for young adults and or teenagers because it was not child-sized. Let me just make that clear. It was not child-sized. And the seatbelt did not fully tighten around me. And I wish I could blame the ride attendant for this, but he went up to me and, said, alright, are you all buckled in? Is the seatbelt tightened? And me being the little kid, I'm like, yeah, it's around me, it's good, I'm gonna be fine, don't worry about it. It wasn't tightened at all. So the dude's just like, alright, and then closes the cage, and then starts up the ride. And so it starts off fine. It's going slow, rocking back and forth a little bit to start. And so everything starts spinning. The cage begins to rock, starting to make its full rotations. And I just see, I'm looking at the seatbelt, and it's, coming up and off of my, chest. And I'm just like, well, shit. And so, I did what any reasonable kid would do, and I would just grab onto the seatbelt. And, just try and hang on, like it was a handbar, because apparently that was too hard to install on this ride. And during this entire time, the ride is still picking up speed. It's rocking back and forth, and it's getting into its full rotations. And by the time it starts going upside down, the seatbelt is sliding off. It is full on coming off. I am fully slipping out of this seatbelt, and I am going to be tumbling around this cage, which I'm not sure even had a lock. I'm pretty sure it was just a metal hinge that they closed. So at this time, I'm beginning to panic, because my entire body is slipping out of a fucking seatbelt that's supposed to be protecting me from the tumbling ride that I'm in. And only when I am about halfway out of this seatbelt, I am halfway about to tumble around inside of this cage, I start screaming out for help, stop the fucking ride, stop. And it took forever for them to stop it. It took an entire 30 seconds. But while I was in the cage, it seemed like fucking hours. And the sad thing is, when I was probably screaming for the ride to stop, I think that the guy that was doing it was just oh, this little kid, he's a little bit scared, whatever, he'll get over it. But no, I was literally going to die. So once the guy realized my obvious peril, by the time I was screaming, I'm falling out of the fucking seatbelt, he stopped the ride, opened up the cage, and I just immediately jumped out because, the seatbelt was off me at that point. I was, getting ready to tumble all around. Didn't even need to disconnect it. It was already off, and I just, was wobbling over to my family and immediately threw up on the ground because, that's what you do. But so after that experience, we all just, kind of looked at each other and then decided it's time to go home. So we all just kind of went into the car and left the state fair for that day and never returned. And honestly, I don't think I've been to another state fair since that point, and I'm not sure if I ever will go to another one. So that was just another story, I had just locked away for a long time, It was a pretty terrifying story at the time, and it kind of scarred me for life a little bit for rides like that, but it is what it is. So kids, when you go to a state fair, make sure that your seatbelt is secured, or you might end up flying all over the ride like I almost did. But anyways, guys, that was today's life story. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please slap a like on this video. I would really appreciate it. And if you really enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button. I would love a new addition to the Snake Army. That being said, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's episode of YouTube Review, where we roast the odd ones out harder than he's ever been roasted before. You better be ready for this, James. You're about to get freaking wrecked. But that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Whiplash, signing out.